Hi, in this tutorial we'll cover the basics of visual nodes in Noodle, nodes like images and text. We're going to be creating a simple card with an image and a description inside of it. I've started a new project here from the Hello template, and it includes this text node that I don't actually need right now. So I'm going to click on it, select it, and press the delete key to delete it. I'm going to start off by changing the background color of this group node that's left over. So I'm going to select it, and on the left-hand side here, I get all the properties for the selected node. So I'm going to scroll down here to the style section, and I'm going to change the background color here. I want something that's a bit more off-white, so let's put in CCC, something like that. Okay, yeah, that looks okay. Now, I want to add another group inside of this existing group. And this new group is going to contain my image and description. And I want this group to have a different background color as well, and some shadow to make it look more like a card. And so to add visual nodes as a child to another visual node, I can right-click on this existing group, and then I get access to all the nodes that this group node can take as a child. And I'm going to select the group node here. And I'm actually going to start here by immediately adding an image node, because I know I'm going to need that later. And I'm also going to add a text node inside of this, because that's going to contain my description. So this group here that I created, by default, it will cover the entire size of its parent, and its parent is the entire screen in this case. I don't really need that. I just wanted to cover the height of my of the children that's inside of this group. So I'm going to go over here to the dimensions gadget and change to explicit width but content height. What that means is that when we have an image and the text node in here, the height of this group is going to be the sum of these two. Now, let's change the background color of the card group. So I'm going to scroll down here to the style section again. Let's make the card white, like so. And I also want to add a little bit of padding to this card, to the content that's inside of the card. And to do that, I use the margin and padding gadget. And you can either just type in directly the padding that you want. I'm choosing 8 here, or you can click and drag up or down to change the number. And I'm going to change it to 8 all around. And I also want to give the parent group here a little bit of padding so that the card isn't all the way to the edges. So probably something like 10 pixels will be okay. Okay, looking good so far. Now, I want to round the corners of my card here a little bit. So I'm going to select this card group here again, and I'm going to scroll down here and find the border radius. I'm going to set that to 5 pixels. Looking nice. I'm also going to enable the shadows of the card. So I'm going to click this here, and I'm just going to leave these values at their default, because I think that looks okay. Okay. Now, let's load an image into the image node. So I'm going to select the image here, and then I'm going to click on the source property. And as you can see, this list here is completely empty. When you start a new project, you don't actually have any assets in it. But I have a couple of assets on my desktop here that I want to add to this project. I want to add this forest picture here, so I just drag and drop it onto Noodle and let go. And I'm also going to add these two fonts, drag and drop, and let's add this last forest image as well. Now if I select the image node again and click on the source property, you'll see I have a list of available assets. So I'm going to select the first image here. So as you can see, when I've selected the forest image here, it's way too big to actually fit on the screen. And by default, it's because the image node's dimensions is set to be the size of its content. And we want to change that to just be the height of its content. So now you can see that this actually allows me to change the width of the image. So I can set it, right now it's 100% of the parent, and I can set it to 50%. And you'll see it only takes up half of the space. Or I can change it to be in pixels, or you can also choose to set it in viewport width. But in this case, I actually want to keep it at 100% because I want it to fill up the whole card like so. Now let's add some margin to the image so that the text isn't so close. So I'm going to select this again, and up here in the margin and padding gadget, I'm going to add something like that, maybe around 10 pixels. Now I want to select the text node, and I'm going to pick the text property right here. And I want this to describe the image. And what is the image showing? Well, it's showing a forest, so I'm going to type in forest there. And I'm also going to change the font family here, and I'm going to select one of the fonts that we actually added that are shown at the top of the list here, and then there are some built-in fonts into Noodle as well. So I'm just going to select Roboto Regular here, and then let's set the font size to something like 20 pixels to make it a little bit bigger, and let's align this text to the center by using the text alignment. Okay, we're going to end the tutorial here. Thanks so much for watching, and please have a look at our other videos and guides for more details on Noodle. Thanks.